Forget passing, forget shooting, forget positioning. You should be focusing on dribbling and dribbling only if you're coaching recreational soccer. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. My name's Noah and I've been coaching soccer for over a decade. I've coached everywhere from 4-year-old soccer all the way up to semi-pro and everything in between, both on the men's and women's side. So this is coming from true everyday experience that I've seen firsthand. Dribbling is the foundation for everything else in soccer. If you cannot dribble, you can't manipulate the ball, you can't change direction, you can't find new space, it's going to be really difficult to even get into positions to be able to shoot on goal. It's going to be difficult to be able to pass to your teammates. So why would I be teaching you shooting, or why would I be teaching you how to pass if we can't even manipulate the ball first and foremost? Now, I'm not saying that you have to be a master at dribbling before you move on to these other skills. And I'm not saying that you can't work on passing and you can't work on shooting within your practices. That said, dribbling has to be the main focus. Being able to manipulate the ball with both feet, left and right, being able to use the sole of your foot, the outside of your foot, the inside of your foot, the laces, every part of your foot, you should be incorporating that into every single practice. In my opinion, the first 10-15 minutes of every single practice should be 1-to-1 ball to player ratio, getting tons of touches on the ball. And if you're doing this properly, your players will get over 1,000 touches in 10 minutes, I promise you. And beyond that, changing direction is incredibly important. If you watch closely, I guarantee you the majority of recreational players, when a defender or pressure is coming towards them, what do? They just kick it. And we want to train and teach players that they are brave enough to dribble out of pressure, that they are brave enough to, even when pressure is coming, they can change direction, keep the ball. We don't just have to kick it away. And so within that first 10 to 15 minutes of your practice, when you're working on dribbling, we want to incorporate changing direction as well. So when you have everybody on a ball dribbling around, you can literally just call out change and have them change directions. The easiest one to do is to just teach them to put their foot on top of the ball using the sole of their foot and pull it back the other way. That is, in my opinion, by far the easiest change of direction to teach at any age. Of course, there are hundreds of ways to change direction, and those are things that you can incorporate in future sessions. But right now, the goal is to give them one really simple way to change directions and get away from pressure. And so you might be asking, hey, this is great. How do I incorporate this into all my practices? How do I make it fun? How do I make it engaging? And I think that's a good question. First, you can like and subscribe to this channel. I have plenty of activities that break down with good coaching points that you can incorporate into every single session. Secondly, you just have to bring energy, get them on a ball, get them moving. You have to remember, the majority of these kids have been sitting in a classroom all day long and they're coming to you and they want to have fun. They want to release a little bit. And so allow them to run around, allow them to get their blood flowing, get them on a ball and just start calling out different instructions. As they're dribbling, you can yell out change. As they're dribbling, you can yell out freeze. The other thing that I like to do as they get better is you can assign everything to a number and you hold a number up in the air. So change of direction might be 2 and you just hold a number 2 up in the air. You don't actually call it out. And so now they've got to actually keep their head up and check to see what number you're holding up to then follow the direction. So all we're trying to do is add different stipulations into your warm-ups to get them active, to get their brain thinking, to get them moving with the ball. And the next layer to all of this is when they start to get better at dribbling, they start to get better at changing directions, you can start to introduce a concept of what I call find new space. And so you can start to help them read the game and see where pressure is coming. And if they can manipulate the ball and change direction, they can get into that new space now. Whereas before, if they couldn't even dribble, they couldn't change direction, it doesn't matter where that space is, they wouldn't have been able to get there anyway. But now with their new skills, the ability to use both feet, the ability to use all different parts of their feet, the ability to change directions, they can see where pressure is coming, they can start to read the game where new space is, and they can start manipulating the ball to get into that new space. And ultimately, that gives them more time on the ball, which again slows everything down for them and allows them to make better decisions going forward. Now, we do have to be careful that we don't just make it incredibly boring, that every single warm-up before practices and games are the exact same thing, because players will become bored, they will become disengaged. And so you do have to become creative. You have to find different ways to keep score, to put a time limit on things, to make it into a competition. Maybe you're running around and if you see somebody with a big touch, you kick their ball away and they have to do a couple of toe touches before they can come back into the grid. So we have to make it fun, we have to make it engaging. In my opinion, one of the easiest ways to do that is for you to get involved. Get on a ball, dribble around with them. You can incorporate little things like when you pass by somebody, give them a high five. When you start giving them a high five, you have to make an animal noise. You have to say your favorite fruit. Whatever the case may be, make it fun, make it engaging, start telling a story with it. But don't fall into the trap that you have to come up with something brand new for every single practice. But every single practice, every single game, your first 10 to 15 minutes should be touches on the soccer ball. The more touches, the better. So again, I want to encourage you to forget about passing, forget about shooting, forget about positions for right now. Focus on ball mastery. Get your players touches on the ball. Get them using both feet. Get them using all parts of their feet. Get them changing direction and then start to help them read the game and find new space. And don't forget to subscribe for weekly how-tos and a weekly Sunday skills challenge.